Good morning, Fusion friends. Happy Thursday. I just wanted to share a quick devotional thought with you this morning. Today is Maundy Thursday in Holy Week, which marks the Last Supper of Jesus and his disciples. And it was here at this table that Jesus washed the feet of the disciples, and they broke bread and passed the cup, kind of the first communion. And Jesus begins to speak to them about all that is to come in the next couple of days, predicting not only his betrayal and death, but also his resurrection. And yesterday, Jordan talked a little bit about the most bizarre dinner party. And this story is likely to be the dinner party with the most emotions. The last couple weeks have been an emotional roller coaster in the world, and I have felt the full spectrum of emotions from scared to sad to stressed to cooped up to frustrated, and I imagine that many of you have felt the same. And I find myself turning to the Psalms a lot because the author David was a person who was not afraid to express his many emotions. And one of the verses that I found myself really clinging to the last couple weeks is Psalm 56:3. It says, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you." One of the biggest reasons I've clung to this verse is that I appreciate that it gives me permission to feel feelings. Just like when you tell someone to smile when they're grumpy and that actually isn't going to help them not be grumpy, no amount of telling me not to be afraid is going to help me if I'm actually afraid. And one of the most impactful things I learned in my human development undergrad is that you can't tell people what or how to feel. And so it's super comforting to hear a person who is considered to be after God's own heart say that fear is a valid feeling. It says when I am afraid. And I honestly think you could fill in the blank with any emotion and it'd still be applicable. When I am afraid, sad, stressed, worried, bored, frustrated, downtrodden, lonely, fill in the blank. I put my trust in you. And so not only does this give me permission to feel feelings, it also reminds me what to do with those feelings, to put my trust in God. And so that's what I've kind of been working on the last couple weeks is asking myself the question, what does it look like to put my trust in God in the middle of all my emotions? And it might look like cutting yourself off from news articles after a certain time of night. I know that for me, I want to be informed and I want to know what's going on, but it does me no good to be laying in bed reading worst case scenarios past a certain time of night. And that's just me putting my trust in Twitter instead of in God. It might simply be giving yourself space to process your emotions. You might not even be able to put your finger on what you're feeling. And so just giving yourself space to identify what it is that you're feeling, that's the first step to trusting God with them. And another thing that it might look like is allowing yourself to release that said emotion once you figure out what it is to God, and then trusting Him with it so you don't have to carry the burden of feeling it every single moment. God says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." But in order to receive the rest, you have to take the burden off and give it to God. And this is the one I'm working on the most. And so I'm right there with you if this is something you need to do as well. So as we continue through this journey of Holy Week and its roller coaster of emotions, and we journey through this season of life that's also full of emotions, I just want to encourage you to meditate on Psalm 56. When I am, fill in the blank, I put my trust in you. Have a great Thursday, everybody.